presentation skill, we stop at chapter 6. So we discuss chapter 6 is planning and structure of presentation. So we are going to discuss it shortly. So we have discussed chapter 1 to 5. The chapter 1 to 5 is talking about establishing the objective of presentation, determining the title of presentation, preparing the content, determining the key presentation points, determining the duration of presentation. So today I will like to go fully into that chapter 6. So chapter 6, we have objective to achieve. We'll be talking about how to demonstrate structure and how to structure your material for presentation. We will explain the role and uh, introduction plays in the presentation. Organize the outline of your presentation and convert your text from Microsoft Word to PowerPoint. 1, 2, 3 objective we must achieve today. So number 4, we will look at time that we can put that into practice. So we'll practice that. So, but before I start, I want to quickly start with a story of 3 fish. That story teaches us about planning. So, in a small town, we have 3 fish. Those 3 fish, they are friends. They are working together, playing together. So one day, they had a farmer saying that the next day he's coming to cast his net at that same river. So the first fish, his name is Think Ahead. So he said, if this farmer is coming tomorrow, that means that tonight I have to swim down the river's bank. Why the second fish? His name is Think Fast. Think Fast was like, okay, if the farmer comes tomorrow, I will think of what to do. And the third fish said, well, the name of the third fish is Wait and See. So Wait and See was like, okay, when the farmer comes, let's wait, let's see what happens. I will know what to do. So the next day, the farmer was there. He cast his net because Think Ahead was not around, so he couldn't pass the Think Ahead. So Think Fast and Wait and See was caught in the river. So immediately Think Fast quickly changed into his belly, put his belly up as if he's dead. So the farmer just pick the Think Fast and throw the Think Fast away. That this one has no need; it's a dead fish. While Wait and See was taken to the market and was sold to the market women. And you know what will happen to him at the end of the day. So now the story is just telling us that there is no way you achieve wonderful presentation without you thinking fast and also thinking ahead. If you don't know how to think ahead, you will not know how to catch your audience. Now, let's look at chapter 1, introduction. Without a divine structure, your audience may not be able to follow your presentation. Now, we are talking about structure, we are talking about planning. Any presentation, so far you know your objective. If you don't know your objective, you don't know where you're going. So far you know your objective, you must know how to plan ahead so that you'll be able to structure your presentation for your audience to at least be able to buy whatever you are selling. So when you don't have good structure, what will happen is this. It can lead to a negative effect, adverse effects on your own reputation. It will affect your reputation as a presenter. Now, planning and structure help the presenter to achieve the objective of presentation. Now, we talk about objective at chapter 1. So, planning and structure help presenter to achieve the objective of presentation. So, with good structure, your audience will be able to follow you while you are presenting. Now, structuring material for presentation. Presentation do not flow well when there is no well-defined structure. You have to understand that. You will not be able to flow accordingly. You need to be able to take it from A to Z or from 1 to 100. Many factors can influence how you structure your presentation, but the most important consideration is the purpose of your presentation. We cannot overemphasize purpose of presentation, objective of presentation. Whether you want to convince your buyer to buy your product, whether you want to convince employer to give you job, we cannot overemphasize the purpose of objective, setting your objective, because that will lead to how you will convince your audience. Now, similarly, you must consider the expectation of the audience. So you must also consider what they are expecting from you so that you'll be able to give it to them. Now, structure of any presentation has three parts. Any structure has three parts. Number one, introduction. Number two, body. And number three, conclusion. So whatever presentation you are doing, you have to figure it in your own mind that I have three parts, and those three parts I have to work on it individually. Because of our time, I will quickly discuss all the three parts. Under your introduction is like telling you or telling your audience where you are going, how you want to get there. So even in your introduction, you must make sure that you outline those points, those things that you want to present. So, and that leads us to content outlining. Now we have two types of content outlining. You can decide to use the first method or you use the second method. Outlining is a method of organizing material which allows you to see all the parts and how they relate to the whole. The content of a presentation is organized to include introduction, body, and conclusion. I think I've said that before. Now, outlining format can be used as described below: main and supporting point, standard, symbol, and indentation. The main point are numbered with. Now, all this you can just go through the written words. But what this is saying is that you can decide to say, I have number one. Under my number one, I have that is A. Under A, I have Roman figure 1, Roman figure 2. Like this next example, let's see this example. Like when we say we have a geopolitical zone, that is the key point. Under each point, that is number one, we have A, southeast, south-south, southwest. Now, under southeast, we now have our numbering. So you must be able to organize your work in such a way that your audience will understand, because we are just trying to structure our presentation. Now, you cannot just mungle it together. It will confuse your audience. Now, types of outline. I said we have two types of outline the other time. We have full sentence outline or keyword outlines. Full sentence, or you can also call it topic outline or sentence outline. So because of our time, I will take the next one, the body. Your body must consist or comprise of the detail, because in your body, you go into detail of making sure that you explain your mission. So whatever you have in your introduction, you must make sure you resolve it. You give examples, you give details. That is your body. And the conclusion is the stage that you make sure that you wrap up whatever you have in your presentation. So that means that in your conclusion, you must have your key points in your conclusion. So, main purpose of introduction. Okay, next, I think I've key techniques for effective introduction. We can just go through this because of our time. I was talking about the body. The body is where you develop the main point and present examples. I think I've said that. Produce a list of the main point that you would like to elaborate. After you have identified your main point, you should support them with appropriate details. Use visual aid. Visual aid is very, very important because it makes whatever you are saying to sink into your audience memory. And show instead of telling. Show them instead of telling them. And conclusion is, therefore, is to restate and reinforce all what you have said before in your body. So that is conclusion. So with that, we have come to the end of chapter 6. So in our physical class, I will make sure that I will do the practical aspect where you can convert your Word to PowerPoint. So with that, we'll be able to conclude this chapter. So the next chapter is chapter 7. We'll see in class to discuss that. Thank you.